Hello, everybody. Hope everybody is doing good, and I hope you guys can see and hear me okay. If you don't, please put it in the chat, and I will know. Hey, you guys can't see or hear me. I ain't even had my first glass yet, and I'm already all tongue-tied. You believe that? So I am opening up my bottle. I'm getting from Green Hill, my wine club member there. I don't know if you see it. Oh, it's too blurry. So I got I call it the Petite. I like red wine. So gonna have my little red wine, and I got my aerator with me right here. I usually have Fred open the bottles for me, but I forgot, and he's out there smoking his cigars and stuff like that. He's gonna come in, it's gonna smell like cigar smoke. So I'm like, yeah. So I can open it. Right, Mello? Ain't nothing that stands between mommy and her wine. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Almost got it. I hope I don't break the cork. Oh no. Shoot, the cork is broken. Cork's broken. Ugh. I'll get it. So I hope you guys are doing okay. Let me tell you guys. First of all, sorry for last week. I thought I was going to be able to do an embroidery happy hour, but things got a little bit kind of crazy, and my schedule got extremely tight. I had to make a trip to Florida to visit my mom. She had a little bit of a medical situation. Everything is good though. Mom is doing good. She's fine. She's recuperating. Driving Nancy crazy, driving me crazy as always. So she was in the hospital for a little bit, but she's fine. At the same time, I did had to go over there because my mom wanted to gift me my dad's car, his Passat. So I had to fly down there, pick up the car, and then okay, this is bad. So I had to pick up the car. It doesn't look like I'm gonna have this. Fred, he'll usually get it for me, but he's smoking right now, so I know he's not gonna come up. So that's okay. All right, so you know what? When you can't have your red wine, then you got water, right? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna have water, but I'm gonna keep messing with this while I talk to you guys. So anyway, I had to drive back, right? So before driving back, I wanted to go visit my dad's grave. So I did stay there for a little longer than I anticipated. So what ended up happening was, I ended up actually driving back to Virginia around like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. And usually I drive all the way to Savannah Airport. And what I try to do is I try to stay at a hotel over there. And then, try to spend the night because I do get tired, and I'm not going to act like I'm some young chick and can go the whole night on the highway and get into an accident. So what I ended up doing was, I stopped at the hotel, and I think I got it this time, hopefully. I stopped at the hotel. Nope, it's coming out little by little though. And spend the night. And I was hoping that I would make it to the hotel by 8 o'clock. So that way I could just set up and everything and then talk to you guys. But it didn't exactly work that way. So I'm really sorry about that and stuff. And I was thinking I should have gotten something. Hold on. I'm sorry. All right, she said cool. All right, whatever. Okay, sorry about that, guys. Very distracted. Can't have my wine because I'm still over here doing this thing. But anyway, so like I said, sorry. But you know what? I'm here, and I got a good topic for you guys today. And this is how I came up with today's topic. Okay, I was going around Facebook, and I was looking around, and I saw some of us were having a little bit of a tough time with embroidery. Okay, and some of the things that you guys were struggling with was stuff that I've also struggled with in the past. And I was also checking out on other Facebook groups, and I saw some people were having a little bit of kind of embroidery issues with certain areas, like customer service, doing custom embroidery. And I was like, you know what? These are really like challenges that people face in embroidery. And it's a lot of things that people that are new to embroidery are very unaware of. Okay. Even when you are even into embroidery, this stuff just pops up, right? And then next thing you know, you're kind of like, man, I wish I knew this stuff. I wish somebody had told me that. So I did a video a little while back, and it was about a couple of months ago, and it was the ugly truth of embroidery, things people really don't tell you about. But this one, what I want to talk to you guys about today. Oop, got it. Bingo. See, that's what happens. This is called determination, guys. That means you don't quit. When you want something in life, you go for it. Because that's right. Jeanette needed this drink. So I may have a little bit of cork all over me, but that's okay. That's all right. I got my bottle, and I'm gonna pour myself my glass. Okay, so it is really important that we sometimes have these conversations, especially even for the folks that are new in embroidery and are just starting out. Because what happens is, if no one tells you about some of these things, some of these challenges that you're going to end up facing, what ends up happening is you're going to be so aware of it. And next thing you know, you can be pretty discouraged. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to talk to you guys about is I got 8 things over here that, just for you guys to think about. That let me get a little comfortable more here now that I have my wine and everything. Some things that you want to think about your embroidery. So if you're having a tough time doing some type of embroidery, or you're kind of stuck on something, it's something that you really, really want to think about and consider. I think I need a new ball for the aerator and stuff. So it's just something that you may want to even consider and stuff. I hope this tastes good, because I haven't had this type of brand in a while. So let's see. So let's yep. This is very good. This will go very, very good with some ribeye steak. Ooh, that'll be kicking some butt. Okay. So let's talk about it. Okay. So now I got my wine. I'm all set up. Sorry about that. My cork kind of like crumbled up. Okay. So it took me a little while to get all settled in. So let's talk about this. Okay. Let's talk about embroidery challenges. Okay. Now, the reason why it's really important that we have these discussions, like I said, it can be very, very discouraging, especially for someone that is new in the field, because what ends up happening is people see these videos and stuff like that, or even they go and they see a machine, they see it embroider, right? And you see the fabric that's already in the machine, and they think it's the easiest thing in the world. They're like, oh my God, I could do that. Anybody can do that. It's easy, it's simple, right? So they have all this type of perception that it's a very, very easy thing to do. So what ends up happening is, they get into this and everything, then they find out all these different type of challenges. It can be very, very discouraging. Next thing you know, they want to quit. Or what ends up happening is they lose their money because they really just don't understand what they got themselves into. Okay. So let's talk about these 8 things that I kind of like thought about. Okay. And that I kind of noticed about challenges that people have in embroidery. So let's start with number 1. Custom embroidery. Custom embroidery is extremely, extremely challenging. To me, it's really the hardest of all embroidery when you're running an embroidery business or even doing it as a side hustle. Now, when I'm talking about custom embroidery, I'm not talking about you going in there and creating your own little design and then just embroidering it and selling it as is. I'm talking about when you have folks that come to you with their creative ideas and their wants, their needs, and their expectations, and you have to take all of that and you have to create that into their reality. Okay. Like, for instance, I'll give you an example. Let's say somebody comes up to you and they say, hey, I have this business. Here is my company logo. I need to have these on shirts, jackets, hats, whatever, right? Well, that is what I considered custom creative embroidery. That means that you are taking their vision and you are making that a reality for them, right? So what ends up happening in that type of situation is, first of all, you got to take their logo, you got to get that digitized, you have to test the design. And then you also have to look at all the different products that they want to get embroidered and see if the design is going to actually stitch out well on those products. Okay. Remember, when you are when you have an embroidery file and it is, it's designed to go on a shirt, sometimes you can wing it and it will go nicely on a hat, but the chances are sometimes it may not come out as clean and crisp. So you may have to talk to a digitizer and let them know that you needed a certain design to be digitized so that it can go both ways, so that you can have one version for hats and one version for clothes. You also have to think about the size of the embroidery, the different types of colors, the different types of thread weights, and all that kind of stuff. So that can be pretty challenging. And if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not really experienced in embroidery, whenever you have those type of custom orders that come to you in your way, that can really mess you up, because then what happens is you're going to start thinking like, shoot, I don't even know how to do this. Or what's going to happen is, and I see it all the time, they just started an embroidery and then they think it's easy. They go, oh, well, all I have to do is just pay a digitizer and I don't have to worry about it. And then next thing you know, the customer comes with their shirts and everything. They take the shirts, they put them in the machine, they put the design on the machine, never tested it out, never consider the type of stabilizer to use, the type of weight thread to use, the type of needle size to use. And then next thing you know, they take it out of the machine and they're like, this didn't look like it was supposed to look, or it just doesn't look as professional, right? Sometimes you could see that they use a different weight thread, and then if the fonts are really small, what ends up happening is it looks kind of like distorted. So, it's really difficult. So a lot of times what I tell people to do when they are first starting out in embroidery is get to learn your machine and start learning what embroidery is all about, how it actually works and stuff. Get used to doing it, a lot of practice with different types of stabilizers and stuff, and needles and weight threads and everything. Get to know what you're supposed to use when, and you're going to become more seasoned. Now, this is not something that, it can happen overnight. I'm going to tell you guys right now, okay? Some folks are pretty lucky and they go and they get a machine and they can rock and roll with it and they seem to be doing okay. But eventually, because they did not learn the art of embroidery and what all the stuff means and what it does and everything like that, eventually they do go into a roadblock. And then what ends up happening is they will come across that one project where they just get screwed and they're like, oh my God. And it's a terrible thing. So you really have to know what you're doing when you are taking on custom embroidery orders. Okay, so I usually tell people when they are first starting out, stay away from that type of embroidery until you actually start learning more about your machine and the different types of stabilizers and threads and needles and stuff, and you really start to have a much better looking embroidery. I will tell you this right now up front. When I first started doing embroidery and I was like, oh, this looks nice and everything, as the years has gone by and I started to learn more about all the different things that are involved in embroidery, the embroidery that I have has really improved. Okay, it has really improved to a point where now I can do custom embroidery. I can guarantee good professional outputs for these customers that I know are going to be happy. And that is the one thing too that I tell people about staying away from custom embroidery in the beginning, is because reputation means a lot. Okay, the last thing you want, especially if this is something that you really want to do, is for you to have an order and you screw it up, because that is going to carry you. Okay, that people talk, and the last thing you want is for that embroidery job to be what's going to bring your shop down, your reputation and everything. So, don't get into that until you know your work is solid and you are good and you are ready. When you know that, that is when you take that jump and you do it. Now, I'm not saying this to scare anybody. I'm not saying this to discourage either. Okay, I'm not saying you can't do it. But what I'm saying is, when you are doing embroidery, make sure that your skill level is up to par. You have to make sure your skill level is up to par. It is not going to happen overnight. There's going to be a lot of practicing. You're going to do a lot of mistakes. You're going to be doing a lot of experimenting. You'll know when your time is right. You will know that. Okay. But what I am saying is, I really don't want you to rush into doing custom embroidery and you're not there yet. And then next thing you know, you just messed up your shop. Then people are not going to want you to touch their stuff. They're not going to care that mistake you made was 5 years ago. All they know is that you screwed up their stuff and you're not going to touch any more of their stuff. That's how customers think. I'm telling you. So, that is a very challenging thing for a lot of people. Now, the second thing that I thought about was hooping items. Now, I'm going to have a video that is going to be coming out soon. I have 3 videos that are already on the queue for the YouTube channel. I plan on releasing 1 video per Tuesday. So I have been videotaping all week. So I have videos on the queue. Now, in one of these videos, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be showing you hooping, okay, of a tote bag. Now I'm going to tell you something. In that video, it's a big black tote bag. It's very strong. It's not made out of fabric. It's made out of a very thick, like paperish. I don't even know. I can't even say it was vinyl. It felt like paper. Like I was embroidering on paper, but very thick paper. And it would not fit on my multi-needle machine. It would not even hoop using my mighty hoops. Okay. So it was challenging. It was really, really challenging. And it made me think about hooping, the importance of hooping. Now, I got the bag done, but what I had to do was I had to use my single needle machine. I used my Brother SE 1900, and I also used an embroidery machine riser. Okay, so you'll see what that is on the video. And I will tell you this, okay? I remember when I first bought that riser, I was kind of like, well, was it worth the money? Was it not? I will tell you this, if I did not have that riser, this order was not going to be a go, okay? And I will tell you, when I first got the bag, I thought, no problem. I'll just smack that sucker in with my mighty hoops. I'll stick it in my multi-needle machine. And all it is just to embroider 2 initials. That's all it was. I didn't think it was going to be a challenge at all. But I could not hoop that bag for the life of me. The mighty hoops could not hold it, okay? And the mighty hoops are very strong magnetic hoops, I'm telling you. So I was really dumbfounded by that. The other thing also was the length of the bag. It was so long that it would not fit. I mean, I could put it under my arm, but the mighty hoops, because it did not really like clamp it, I couldn't use the mighty hoops. I couldn't use the regular hoops, okay? I couldn't use fast frames or my dookie frames, all right? I'm telling you, it had to be on the single needle machine. That was the only way with the riser. I got it done. It came out beautifully. It really did. And I videotaped the whole process. But I will tell you, hooping was a challenge. There are going to be so many things that people are going to come up to you and they're going to say, hey, I want you to embroider my initials, or I want you to embroider something on something. Okay. And I'm going to tell you something. They are going to come with you with so many different items. You're going to get different types of hats. You're going to get beanies. You're going to get shirts. You're going to get jackets. You're going to get even umbrellas. You're going to get a whole bunch of different things that people are going to come up to you and they're going to say, hey, can you embroider this for me? And I'm going to tell you right off the bat, I am telling you, you better learn your hoops. You better know what you can hoop, how you can hoop it, and the right way to hoop it. Because if you do not hoop your item correctly at all, you can kiss that project goodbye. I'm serious, okay? There is so much that goes into embroidery before you even hit that start button. And hooping is one of those main things, okay? I mean, that is a live or die, all right? You have to know the material you're going to use and the hoop. You got to use the right hoop. I see so many people, too, that what they do is they take a big hoop and they hoop something in a big hoop, and all they want to do is they just want to embroider an initial that's 1 inch. And I'm thinking, why did you do that? Why did you know that? Why did you not take your 4x4 hoop, or the smaller hoop, the 2 inch hoop? Okay, the oval hoop. Why didn't you use that? Why did you use that big hoop for one initial and stuff? There's so many reasons why you shouldn't do that. First of all, you're wasting a lot. You're wasting a lot of stabilizer and stuff when you do that kind of stuff. It's so unnecessary. And you got to think about it. Okay, let's think about this. When you are hooping something, right? What you're doing is you're putting fabric, and what you want is you want stabilization. You want the smallest hoop that can fit that design, okay? Because you need the fabric and the stabilizer to be stable. You want no fabric shifting, no nothing. When you do something like that, you are risking it. You're risking it big time. First of all, you're wasting a whole lot of stabilizer that you could have been using on other projects, and you are really risking it. The fabric can shift. And I have seen that. I've seen that people just use these big hoops. It's like for some reason they buy this one hoop. That's the hoop size they want to use on everything. Next thing you know, they're like, why did my embroidery like get out of line and it just like missed a line? How come, it doesn't look straight and all that kind of stuff? It's because you didn't take the time to hoop it right. You didn't. Okay. And I see it all the time too. People rush. Why are you rushing? If you are rushing, then you need to stop, put it away, and come back to it at a moment where you have time to do it. Honestly, because what's going to happen is you're going to mess up your stuff. You're going to mess up your item. So don't rush. Do not rush. Enjoy the process. Enjoy it. Okay. Unless somebody's paying you a nice rush fee, then I say, oh, go for it then. But no. Enjoy the process, because what happens is when people rush, they make mistakes. When they make mistakes, it shows in your end product. That's the last thing you want. Don't do that. So, hooping is so, so important. The other thing too is that people sometimes, I'm not saying that you have to buy all the hoops that are under the sun either. Okay. There are a lot of different hoops out there. But, this is something that I want you guys to think about also. Okay. Just like you see that there are single needle machines out there. Okay. Like let's say the Luminaire or something like that. Those machines are like $15,000. Okay. Just like a multi-needle machine could be about $15,000. Okay. So you could probably look at all these different hoops, and then you could say to yourself, well, who needs all that? It serves a purpose. It serves a purpose. Trust me. There's a reason why those hoops are selling. They're not, they're not just nice to have. A lot of them are must-haves. Okay. Like for instance, I have fast frames and I have dookie frames. I need those frames. Those are my bag frames. Okay. I need them. There are situations where I have to use those frames. When I go and I embroider laptop cases, I have to put it on a fast frame or a dookie frame. Okay. I have my mighty hoops. My mighty hoops are fast, easy, and I get a perfect hoop every time. A hooping station, gotta have it, especially when I am doing shirts. When I do company shirts don't come to me like one or two at a time. When these small business owners come to me and they say, hey, Jeanette, I need some polo shirts done, they come to me with like 20, 30, 50 shirts. They come with a lot. I don't have time to lay down a shirt on a table, take a ruler out, and start measuring and stuff like that to make sure I have the shirt hooped correctly. I need that hooping station. Okay. I mean, it's like it's that thing right here that you see right here saves my butt. Okay. And I have extra hoops. I don't just buy one. I have extras of every size. So when I'm doing those logos, trust me, and those machines are running and everything, I already have 5 shirts already hooped, ready to go on the machine. Okay, so when one finishes, I just take the hoop, take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in, take it out, put it in. It's a process. Okay, I got a little system going on over here. Okay, so there's a reason for these hoops. They serve a purpose because you have to hoop your item correctly. If you don't hoop your item correctly, you're just a mess. And I'm going to tell you, when you're going to see in that video, I had to use my single needle machine, that SC1900, and I had to put it on a riser in order for me to be able to embroider that bag. Okay, if it wasn't because of that riser, forget about it. Okay, I needed the riser. Okay, so it's really funny because at one time I purchased that and I was like, man, this is a game changer, this is nice. But then I didn't like it too much because I started looking at the embroidery arm, and I felt that kind of got in the way. Well, I'm gonna tell you something. In that video, when you see that big bag I had, you're gonna be like, that riser saved me. Okay, I was able to do 2 initials for that customer, and just so quick, 6-minute stitch, 6 minutes, and it was great. So people, learn your hoops. I understand that when you're first starting out, and if you get a small machine, you only get like a 4x4 hoop or a 5x7 hoop, depending on the model that you get. Sometimes you'll have if you get a higher end machine, sometimes you'll have more than one size and everything. There is a reason for these different sizes. There's a purpose. Okay, get to know it and get to and explore it and learn. If you really want to get really good, take a design and put that design on a big hoop and then put it on a small hoop and do a comparison and see if you gotten any puckering and stuff like that. I mean, you would be surprised you could see the quality, how the quality changes when you use the correct hoop versus using a wrong hoop. So hooping is really, really, really important. It's something that is not often talked about. A lot of times people just talk more about the threads, the different type of threads and needles and stuff like that. But I always say hooping is really the start of it all, okay? Because that is what's holding the item in your machine. If you don't have that done correctly, you're screwed. You really are. You're just like, you're not going to do well, okay? All right, so now let's talk about the third item that I kind of think about, that I find that people have trouble with: digitizing. Digitizing is its own artwork. Okay, it's artistic, just like I call embroidery. I'm a machinist. Okay, I love the machine. That is my specialty. I live by it. I die by it. That is what I like to do. Okay, I can stand in front of these machines all day, all night. Give me the items. I'm great at hooping. I'm great at knowing what stabilizers and threads and needles it needs. That's my thing. Digitizing, I know very little. All I know is how to fix certain things. I leave that to the professionals. However, this is the challenge though. There are a lot of people out there that are just starting out in learning how to digitize, and right away they are trying to sell their services. When you are getting something digitized, okay, if it's just something for you or something like simple for a gift or something like that, that sometimes the digitizing quality you may not care about it too much, but then others you may. Okay, but I'm gonna tell you something right now. If you are embroidering, okay, for a business, you better care about that quality of digitizing. You better, because that is going to show in your work and your customers are going to see it. That is not the time to play around. So I actually take the time to interview digitizers. Okay, and what I mean by interviewing digitizers is give these digitizers a test. If you have artwork or something like that, throw it at them and say, hey, I'm interested in you having this digitized. And I it's kind of like an interview. Sometimes I don't even tell them that I'm interviewing them, because I just want to know how they work, right? And so I give them a file. When they send it back, I look at how the machine behaves as it's digitizing the actual artwork, okay? I want to make sure that it's not too dense. I want to make sure that I don't get any puckering and stuff, because I know how to hoop my stuff, and I know what I need to use. I also, when I send them the artwork, I always like to see if they ask, what is it going to go on, or what type of needles or thread weights am I going to use. A good digitizer is going to ask for those questions. Some won't, but I always, if they don't ask, I'll volunteer it, and I'll let them know how I plan on using that embroidery design. I'll let them know it's going to be embroidered on a canvas bag, or it's going to go on a polo shirt. It's going to be a logo, or a left chest logo, or it's going to go on a hat. Okay. And they, you have to kind of get to know them a little bit. Okay. Now, when you get that file back, okay, sometimes what I'll even do is I'll see if I can reach back out to that digitizer and ask them if they can make a small modification or something like that. The reason why I do that is because I want to know, is this digitizer somebody that says, okay, here's your file, give me my money, be gone. Okay? Because there are people out there like that. Okay? I don't like working with people like that. I like to work with a digitizer that I can have a good, strong, solid business relationship with. That is what I'm looking for. Okay. I'm looking for a partner. Okay. Because that's how I look at it. Just like I don't do that to my customers, like go away and stuff like that. I don't want a digitizer doing that to me. I want someone that I can count on, someone that I know I'm going to get good quality work, and someone that I know I can reach out to make small modifications if required. Okay. It's not somebody that's going to just disappear. There are a lot of people out there that will do that. Okay. So be careful when you are looking for someone that does digitizing. Now, like I said, there are a lot of people out there that say that they're digitizers and all that kind of stuff. And I got that. And I'm not saying that, you can't learn and stuff like that, but I need to have someone that's seasoned for me. Okay. Because I am a business. All right. And I have customers that rely on good service, good quality products. I don't have customers here that are, hey, I just, want an initial here and there. I have business owners that come to me, and they go to a lot of events, and they need their business logo on jackets, on hats, on tote bags and stuff like that. They need to look good. There is no such thing as walking around with a funky looking logo. Okay, they can't do that. So I have to make sure that whoever does the digitizing for me is good quality professional and someone that I can reach out to. Okay, so digitizing can be very challenging. All right, so just something to keep in mind. Also, one of the things that I tell people also is, when you are looking for a digitizer, once you have a good digitizer, that doesn't mean you should stop looking for other digitizers. Okay, because sometimes that person that you're using for digitizing, they could be overwhelmed with a lot of work. And if you have something where you need a quick turnaround, or you just you just need certain things at a certain time, and because they're human too, right? Just like I have a schedule and I have to walk around with an appointment book, I'm sure they have to also. Okay, so it's good to have a couple of good digitizers in your back pocket. Okay, like I have my prime, but then I also have a secondary and a third person that I do go out to. I have three that I like using. I like them, the three, because I work very well with them. I know the quality of work that they do, and I know I can count on them. So, you got to make sure that when you're looking for a digitizer, you're looking for a good, solid digitizer. Okay. A lot of times, too, that I notice is that people will fight with the digitizer sometimes regarding the cost of an embroidery design. One of the things that I kind of always ask when I'm working with a digitizer is, I kind of always like to ask them up front when I give them a design and say, what would your price be? Now, I am very, I don't know, for me, I am very respectful of other people's pricing, for the simple fact that I expect people to be very respectful of my embroidery pricing. Okay. There are going to be a lot of people out there that are going to try to undercut you and your skill set. You know, you get what you pay for. Okay. I am a serious believer of that. If you are paying for a $3 digitizing work, well, you're going to get $3 of digitizing work. But if I am paying 15 to $20 for some digitizing work, I expect some top quality digitizing to come my way. Okay. So remember, also just keep that in mind. You know, you do get what you paid for. You don't want to underpay, but you don't want to overpay aggressively either. Okay. You want something that is fair. So when you are looking for a digitizer, not only do you know look at their pricing, but look at the quality. And I'm going to be honest with you, I don't mind paying more for good quality digitizing. Have no problem paying for that. Okay, now what I do have problem is paying a lot of money for crappy work, because then I'll be like, ooh, this isn't good. So just be conscientious of that and stuff like that. Now, the other thing that I find that a lot of people have challenges with is dealing with customers. Okay, because what it is, it's about managing customer expectations. If you are doing embroidery and you're selling things online, the customer interaction that you have is pretty minimal. Okay. What I mean is that, you have your product, it's online. People will either like it or not like it. And if they like it, they purchase it and they select the little whatever options you give and they pay the money, and you just create it, put it in, package it up and ship it out. Right. So the interaction with customers online is pretty minimal, or sometimes you'll get like a question from them, to for you to answer and stuff like that. However, though, the bulk of my business is not just Etsy. Okay. I mean, I do extremely well on Etsy, but a lot of my business comes from local. Okay. I do have my business registered locally. So what ends up happening is a lot of people around me know that I do embroidery, and they will usually come to me for a lot of their custom embroidered work. Now, it can be very, very challenging, but this is one thing that I will say. You got to have patience. If you don't have patience, don't take the local orders. Okay, seriously, because you're not going to do well. All right. You have to be really good with your customer service. On the other hand, I have absolutely no problem sitting down with a customer, having a conversation with them, trying to get to know them and know what it is that their needs are. Also, I have no problem explaining to them the entire process. As a matter of fact, I actually welcome that opportunity. The reason why I prefer to do that is because I want them to get to know me. I want them to know that I'm somebody that they can trust, can get the job done, and at the same time, I want them to know that I am all about top quality embroidery. I am not, a hobbyist. I am not, somebody that just bought an embroidery machine yesterday and decided that I can't embroider anything. I've been doing this for quite some time. I have done a lot of business, and I want them to know that it's serious. Okay, I'm not one of those that this is a business here. So I like to have the conversation with them, and I also do a lot of test stitches. Now, I did see a lot of times where people have talked about, hey, how do you know when a customer is wasting your time? Well, that's something that you're going to kind of build on your own, is experience. All right. As you start meeting with customers, you're going to know what questions to ask them up front, so that you know right up front if this person knows what they want or they don't. Okay. Now, I am one of those that I'm very, very direct. I like to deal with customers that know what they want and what they need. I have no problem spending extra time with you to try to figure out what fonts are going to work best with your product or stuff like that. What I do have a problem with is with someone that says, hey, I want to have embroidery, but I don't know what I want. So that's when I say, well, let me know. when you know what you want, okay? Because I'm not there to create designs for you and all that kind of stuff. You know, a lot of times you can also do questions such as, you know, I let them know up front, you know, I do have a lot of orders that I'm working on right now. I have a schedule. How soon do you need your items? So that I can, I don't know if I can put you on my schedule or not. Usually, right there is where you're kind of like getting the ball rolling, right? So I'll let them know how soon you need your item, right? A lot of times, I will have some customers that have one item and they'll come to me and they'll say, hey, I need something embroidered and I kind of need it by this weekend. And, you know, the conversation is usually, okay, well, what is it? Can you send me a picture? What is it that you're trying to embroider? It's very simple. You know, a sample of that is the bag that I had to embroider on the riser, you know, using the riser. That was something that the lady needed right away. I was still waiting for a customer to deliver some shirts, so I had time. So I was like, just bring it over. I can do it for you. You know, so you kind of know the customers that know what they want and the customers that don't. Customers that don't, it's not that I send them away, but what I kind of do is I tell them, well, you know, I have a real tight schedule right now. Give me a call when you know what you want. Okay, really, that's what I tell them. Sometimes too, what you can do, because this is something that I've done as well, is sometimes they'll come and say, well, you know I want a design to have something like a moon or a little bear or something, right? So usually what I'll do in that situation, and you know, which I think, you know, you can definitely do is, you know, I'll tell them, I say, well, do this, do a search on Etsy or do a search on some of these embroidery websites, and do a search for bear embroidery designs and see if you see a design that suits you. And when you find a design that you like, you let me know. Okay. And usually when that I do that, I kind of like it because it kind of puts them to work just like you're working. Okay. Because I'm not going to sit at my computer and I'm not going to Google bear embroidery designs and look at 200 embroidery designs for them to look at. Okay. They should be able to do that on their time. Okay. I can tell them what I have in my library. Okay. Which I'll usually come out and I'll say, well, go to my Etsy shop. I have designs of that nature there. And they can go and if you see something that you like there, you let me know. If not, then this is another option. You can go on Google and you can type in bear embroidery designs. And if you see a design that you kind of like and stuff, save the link to that design and, you know, send it to me and let me know when you're ready for your order. Okay. And at that time, that's how I handle that. Okay. There are going to be a lot of people that are very indecisive. Some people know what, you know, don't even know, you know, they don't know even what they want to embroider. Okay. Like they, you know, they'll say, well, I want my initials. Well, what do you want your initials on? Well, I don't know. You let me know when you know. Okay. Then you could give me a call. Okay. And sometimes, you know, they want blanks, right? I'm all about helping the customer, okay? But the customer has to be willing to help themselves. That's how you know the serious customers, okay? That's how you know. Like right now, I do have a construction company. I did construction jackets for them in the past. They came back. They need more construction jackets. They also need hats. They need polo shirts and sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff. You know, they came to me because they were like, hey, do you know about, you know, getting shirts and all that kind of stuff? You know what I did? I said, look, this is a wholesaler. They sell these type of items. I recommend you go to them and you get all the items that you want embroidered because I already have their logo, right? And then once you get all the items that you want embroidered and you get them delivered and stuff, as long as you tell me where you got them from, so that way I can replace anything that I screw up, then you bring them to me and then let me know and I'll put you on the schedule, right? So I have the construction owner right now. He's all over Jiffy shirts. He's all over SS activewear, and he's also going to the wholesaler that's right down the street from me. So he's going to, you know, look at the items that they have there. That's another way that you can do it. So sometimes it's like don't take all the work on yourself. Okay, because first of all, I'm way too busy for that. Okay, I got machines to run, I got orders to fill, so I can't go clothes shopping for you. I can't go clothes shopping for folks, but I do give them the sites to do it. And if they have a business business license, they could get these items wholesale prices. Okay. Because I remember when I was talking to a construction worker and I said, where were you planning on getting the shirts? He said, what was it? He said he was going to go somewhere. Where was it? I think he was going to go lands or something like that, some website. And they were gonna buy a sweatshirt for like $30 each. I was like, oh no. I said, don't do that. Don't do it. You can get them wholesale. So and he didn't know where to even look. And I sent him the websites and he was like, oh my God, that's it. Land's End. Thank you, Debbie. So I said, this is where to go. He went to the site. He was like, oh my God, thank you. Sweatshirts, okay, were like $6, $8, depending on the brand and stuff like that. You could get some for $8. You could get some for $4. You can get them for $5 wholesale. And then, the more you buy, the cheaper the price. You can call wholesalers up and you can tell them, hey, I want to place an order of 200 sweatshirts and stuff like that. What would be your price? You tell them that and they'll go ahead and they'll give you special pricing and stuff like that and everything. And then if they have a sales tax certificate, they won't have to pay sales tax or stuff like that. So there's a lot of things. And I'm going to be honest with you. Sometimes one of the things that the business owners that I work with kind of really like about working with me is I'm not the money hungry person. Okay. I am just interested in selling my embroidery services. I am not interested in making a buck on a shirt or a hat or whatever. You go get those items on your own, bring them to me, let me know where you bought them for, and all I'm charging you for is the embroidery services. So one of the things that customers like is that I'm building that rapport with them. Because can I go ahead and say, sure, I'll do that for you? Absolutely. And then I can go get the sweatshirt for $8 and sell them for $20, plus put the embroidery on top of that and $30. Could I do that and make a whole lot of more money? I could. I really could. But the thing is, just like they're business owners, I'm a business owner too. And I don't know. I'm not like that. That's just who I am. Okay. Like for some people may say, well, Jeanette, you're missing out on money opportunities. Yeah, I know. But the thing is, I don't mind helping other people out. Okay. And I always just feel that if you put good energy out there in the world, it does come back to you. Okay. So I'm not gonna lose it over making some profit on blanks, right? Blanks is not my thing. Okay. I do sometimes sell the baby blankets, and I just do that to help other people out because, I do buy those baby blankets wholesale, right? And I buy them by huge, big bulk, and they're all in my basement. And sometimes I know there are people out there that when they go to buy these, they're buying them for like $25 a pop, and I'm like, oh, that's like way too much money. So as long as I make the money back. And, and I'm not the one paying for the shipping, I don't mind selling it to other people for them to embroider. So the thing is, sometimes I feel like you gotta have one hand washing the other. That's just me. That's just how I think. So, you gotta make sure that you really build a good business relationship with your customers. That's really what I'm trying to say. If you are not the type of person that, likes to sit down and talk with customers, get to know their needs and what their requirements are and everything to actually fill those orders, then maybe this is not really for you. Okay. You really have to have good customer skills and stuff like that. The other thing also is you got to know to be tough. Okay. You got to know, you got to know when you are dealing with a hustler. And I have had those come up to me as well. I have had people that have come to me and they say, hey, I want you to embroider something for me. And I go, not a problem. And then when I say, this is how much it's going to cost, they say, oh, that's too much. I go, okay, well then, nice knowing you. Okay. I don't cut my prices. I don't do it. I just don't. It's not an option. It's not something that I negotiate. If you don't want to use me as your embroiderer, I'm okay with that. It's perfectly fine. I have no problem with you going to an discounted embroiderer. Okay. And the reason why I say discounted embroiderer is because a lot of times, sometimes people, well, not even sometimes, a lot of times, you will have some people that what they do is they are just starting out in embroidery, and they will go ahead and do all this embroidery work, and they improperly charge for their work. So what ends up happening is they don't realize it, but they're actually working for free. And at the same time, because they just started doing embroidery, what ends up happening is the quality of their work really isn't that good. So to me, the way I see it is this. Okay, this is the bottom line. I know my stuff. Everything that comes out of this shop is top notch. I don't mess around. Okay, I stand by my work. My price is my price. It is enough for me to make money, but it's not to make the customer go broke either. I consider it very fair. If you feel that it's not fair, go somewhere else. But the bottom line is I'm not going to allow anybody to take advantage of me. That's really the bottom line. I am very, very thick. I have no problem being direct with anybody. I have absolutely no problem with it. I'll stand up against all of them. I mean, I'm just that type of chick. I am the one person in the room that if I see something wrong, I'm going to stand up and say and be like, excuse me. Okay. I'm not the silent person. And I think my customers kind of know that. They know that. Okay. They know I'm upfront. They know I'm direct, and I'm going to take their order, and they know that when they come and pick it up, it's good quality stuff. Okay. I only had problems with one order, and that thing cost me an arm and a leg. And I'm not even going to say that it was the customer's fault. That shit was my, excuse me, I said the word. I hope that YouTube doesn't say something, but that was my fault. That was my fault. All of it. Okay. I messed up 12 bags. Okay. That cost me an arm and a leg, but it was okay. I turned the negative to positive, but I learned. It was a really tough lesson learned. Okay. But, and that was my fault. It had nothing to do with the customer. Okay. I did it because I don't know what it was. No one told me to rush, but I wanted to get the order done and just get it done with. And I did it all one night. What I should have did was broke that order down in several days so I could have took my time. Okay. And I think when I hooped those items at the end, I just got so tired that I didn't hoop the items correctly. So the logo was kind of slanted, kind of crooked. So that was my fault. Big lesson learned. Okay. Which now moving forward, I tell you what, if I am tired, I stop. I won't, the machines come off. And I let the customers know, which is why I went and I got an appointment book. I got my calendar up, and I schedule my jobs. And I know who is going to be worked on at what time. And I make sure I have my breaks in there and stuff like that. I'm not messing around. And I was like, out of all the years that I've been embroidering, that was the one time that I screwed up. And it was a big order. It was a big order. It cost me an arm and a leg. But that's okay. It's lesson learned. That's how you do. So customer expectations, it can be very, very, very challenging. You better know what you're doing. You better know how to talk to the customers, how to get their expectations, and how to, really, no, don't do the price negotiation. I don't do it. I'm not a fan of it. I know some people have said that they'll lower the prices. I don't. I just don't do it. I don't do it. The other challenge, ensuring the quality is high. When people are new, you're really fascinated, you're excited, and you should be. You should be fascinated. You should be excited. You just got this machine, and now you're learning how to do this. It's an exciting thing. It really is. But let's be honest. When you first started, okay, if any of you guys still have the very first item that you embroider, if you pick it up today after embroidering for all these years, can you honestly see some mistakes in there? And I bet you a lot of times you can. Okay. Embroidering is a skill. It really, really is. It takes a lot of practice. Okay. There is a lot that goes behind the scenes before you even hit that start button. So, because it is a skill that has to be built on, okay, before you even think about taking this to a business level, make sure that the embroidery that you do is top notch. It is of high quality. Very, very, very important. And the reason why I say that is because your reputation is going to ride on that. It really, truly is. And those that have watched me have always heard me say this in the past. When you create, let's say I go to you and I say, hey, I got a business and stuff, and I want you to embroider my polo shirts, and here's my logo. I'm going to give the logo to you. So what you're going to do, you're going to take that logo, you're going to get digitized, right? And then I'm going to go to the store and I'm going to buy all my shirts. I'm going to take it over to you and stuff. And then and you're going to be like, okay, you can come in a week and I'll be ready for you. I'll be like, awesome. So I'll be like, how much is it? I give you the money and I'm done, right? Because I always take payment up front. That's one thing I always do. Never, ever, ever. And I'm serious, guys. Don't do it. Do not do you pay 50 now, 50 later. No. When you buy something online, you pay in full, right? They don't say give me 50% of it. And then after you get it, you can give me the other 50%. How many of you guys seen that? You don't. So no, when you are running an embroidery business, you make sure 100% of that money is paid. When you hear the ching ching and you see that the money is in there, that is when the machine gets turned on. Okay, so I already paid you the money and everything. Okay, so I walked away. Now you're going to go ahead, and you're embroidering all my shirts and everything. Now you just started. You've been embroidering maybe a week or so, but you got a business. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you got a business. That means you're high quality, right? So I go in there and let's say my logo has some small fonts, right? The fonts were about 1/4 of an inch, right? Very tiny fonts. You only had 40 weight thread. You didn't know about 60 weight thread. You had no knowledge about using a 65/9 needle or even changing the weight of the thread or anything like that. Okay. So I go and I pick it up and I look at the lettering, and the lettering, it kind of looks, it's okay. Kind of hard to read because the thread is real thick and all that kind of stuff. So I go and I pick up my shirts, and what am I going to do, right? I mean, you embroidered it, I paid for it, so I go home. So I'm wearing this shirt, and I'm walking around, and I'm at an event, and I'm advertising my business and stuff. And let's say somebody comes out and says, "Ooh, who did your embroidery?" What do you think I'm going to say? I'm going to say, well, I used this girl, Jeanette, and she did my embroidery and stuff. And, this is how much she charged and everything, but what am I going to do? And so, so it just happened. Okay. Now I saw, also, I don't know if you guys know, I usually like to watch Liliana from Embroidery. Now she has been embroidering for over 25 years. And, one of the things that she said in her videos, which really struck a chord, and I was kind of like, ooh, I could see that happening, is that she said that she gets a lot of customers that have gone to folks that had just started to learn how to embroider, say that they know how to embroider. And what they do is they go to her with the items and ask her, can you redo them for me? So she would have to pay them to remove all of that embroidery that they did and re-embroider the item because they did not do a good job. Okay. And guess what that happens, when something like that happens. When that happens, that means that customer is not going to recommend you. That customer, you will probably never hear from them again. If you have your business registered on Google, most likely what's going to happen is they may leave you a negative review. Every time that shirt is put on or worn, and if anybody ever asks about that shirt and the embroidery that's on it, you best believe there's going to be a conversation about you. Your ears are going to be ringing, okay? It's not going to be anything good. So, ensuring that the quality of your work is high is so important. I cannot overestimate it enough. I really cannot. You have to know what you're doing. You got to make sure that when the item leaves the possession from you to the customer, that it is top notch. You have to. You really have to. If not, your business is going to sink. You're not going to go far. Trust me, it's not going to work for you. Okay. Unless you're going to be embroidering for friends and family. Okay. But if you want to get in the big leagues and you want to really be known as someone that really knows their stuff, you got to step it up. The only way to step it up is by practicing and making sure that everything that comes out of your doors is top notch. Okay. The other thing that is really challenging for a lot of people, especially those that actually just first came into this game, okay, is the expense. Embroidery, I'm telling you, I've said it before and I'm going to say it again. It is not cheap. I don't care if you went and you just bought a small machine and you're just starting out. You are quickly going to learn as you start your journey that this is something that it is not light on your pocketbook at all. Okay. The first 2 years of me running my embroidery business, every single dollar that I made in profit got reinvested in my business for either another embroidery machine, for hoops, for scissors, for threads, for stabilizers, for hooping stations, you know, different things. The amount of supplies that you need is going to really grow, and you are going to really I'm telling you, the expense is high. It's up there. And the other thing too is you got to be careful what you get. When you buy cheap stuff, it can really take an effect on the quality of your embroidery. Okay. There's a reason why you have economical, there are really cheap threads, and then you have some threads that are a little more expensive. It's all about the quality, right, Mello? What do you think about that, Mello? It's all about the quality? Yes, it is. All right. So, you really have to know where can you save your money and where you shouldn't save your money. Okay. Like, I'll give you an example of that. Scissors. There are a lot of scissors out there that you can buy, a whole lot of scissors out there. But I'm going to tell you something. You're going to need some really good quality scissors for you to be able to cut jump stitches, cut fabric, stabilizer, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. Stabilizer. You want good quality stabilizer. Threads. You want good quality threads. Okay. Now, there are a lot of threads out there. There's some that are pretty cheap. But one of the things that I do personally, I have expensive threads and I have real cheap threads. Okay. I know what projects I could use the low cost threads. I also know what type of projects I need to reach for the high quality threads. Okay. And there's certain factors that play into that. Sometimes the design needs a little bit of shine. So I don't want a matted look. Okay. So it depends on the design and all that kind of stuff. The other time too is you need to know, the type of weights. Not every brand out there sell 60 weight threads. So be very careful about that. Like 40 weight thread is usually the type of thread that is, people use, right? It's the normal or more commonly used weight thread in embroidery is the 40 weight. Okay. Now, if you're really into the embroidery, okay, you're going to know that when you are embroidering for customers for certain things, 60 weight isn't going, 40 weight isn't going to work. I'm going to give you an example. Okay. Like this is tomorrow. I have a business owner that's coming, and he is dropping off a bunch of shirts for me to embroider. This is his logo. Okay. Now, as you notice, Belfort on the top and the tree, I can use 40 weight on that. However, if you look over here, Georgetown with the little stars, look at how clear that is. That was done with 60 weight thread, not 40, 60. The tree and Belfort was done with 40 weight, but the Georgetown at the bottom, 60 weight. Okay. So you have to know what type of thread is best for what type of project. So embroidery can be very, very, very expensive. Okay. Because there are just so many different things out there, so many different types of products and all that kind of stuff. Another example, let's talk about hoops. I love to use my Mighty hoops. Okay. I like them because they make the process of hooping easier. However, though, I also have Dookie frames and I also have fast frames. It depends on what it is that I'm hooping. Sometimes it can't be a Mighty hoop. Sometimes I have to pull out a fast frame. Sometimes I have to pull out a Dookie frame. Sometimes, I have to pull out a riser. Okay. Just like, for that video that I'll be posting real soon regarding the tote bag, that was done on a riser. Okay. On a regular hoop with sticky stabilizer. And not only sticky stabilizer, I also added an extra tip. I added double-sided tape, and I will show you that in the video of how to really secure something when you are floating. Okay. Because that is something that some people have trouble with. There are a lot of different ways and techniques of hooping things. Floating is one of them and stuff. They even have reverse hooping, and I do have to do a video on reverse hooping. Keep forgetting to do that for you guys because I do that. But there are just so many things, and it's expensive. It can really, really be expensive. There's different types of stabilizers. There's different types. I mentioned the threads. Let me see. Let me look around here. I got the hoops. Then, how are you going to organize your supplies too? Okay. I got thread racks everywhere and stuff like that. Yeah, I got scissors. What else I got? Let me see. Then I got mellow. Let me stop. So there's just so many things. So the thing is that, embroidering is expensive, and I got to be honest with you guys. When I first started this journey, I didn't know it was going to be this expensive. Honestly, I did not. Okay. I did just like other people do. I bought my first embroidery machine. It just started really as a hobby. It really did. I didn't know that it was going to get this big for me. Okay. And it was because Carlito went out to college, empty nester, I had nothing else to do with myself, because I couldn't yell at Carlito. So, I started to do sewing and I started to do embroidery and I ended up liking it. And next thing you know, it started to grow and I started doing gifts for people. And next thing you know, it just grew and grew and grew. The Peggy Stitch eraser. Yes. Thank you, Iris. I just saw that. Peggy Stitch eraser. Big must. You have no idea how many times the Peggy Stitch eraser saved my butt because mistakes happen. Okay, so it's expensive. It really is expensive. A lot of people have this perception that it's not. And I'm going to tell you something. If it wasn't this expensive and it was so easy to get into this, there would be a lot more people doing it. Okay. And this is the other thing that I want you guys to think about also. There was a time when a lot of people were jumping on the bandwagon of embroidery. Okay. Now, when you go on Facebook, you see a lot of people selling their machines. And the reason why they're doing that, and some of the machines that I see that they're selling don't even have a lot of hours of sewing and stuff like that. And I know what that's all about. A lot of times they're saying, well, I went back to work and I don't have time for it. Well, it could be kind of true, but honestly, I truly feel that people, when they see a video of somebody embroidering and then they think, oh, this is really easy. I can do that too. But then what end up they find out is that it's really not as easy as it looks. It's a lot of planning that goes in the front end. You really got to know what you're doing. And then it costs money. Okay. So that's why embroidery costs money. Embroidery services is expensive. All right. It is a luxury item. It's considered a luxury item. All right. So it's very expensive, and people find that really, really challenging, especially when they first start out, because they had no idea. They had no idea that it could be this big of a ticket item. Okay. Let me see the other thing I have in here. Okay, I did number 7 I have here on my notes as making sure your pricing is set right. That is a big challenge that a lot of people have. They don't set their prices correctly. So what ends up happening is you end up losing a lot of money. Okay. One of the things that I like to do is I really like to set the price on my services. I am not really in the business of doing the blank thing. I don't like that. I don't want the inventory. I don't need it. It's not my thing. Okay. My thing is embroidery. I will tell people where to go to get their blanks. And bring me the blanks. Just let me know where you bought it from so I can replace it and let me do the embroidery. Okay. But the thing is, a lot of times people don't set their prices right. And when they don't set their prices right, what ends up happening is they are losing money. And sometimes they don't even realize that. You got to remember that when you are embroidering, you're using electricity. These are very expensive machines. You're using thread, you're using stabilizer, you're using a bobbin thread. Your time, okay, costs money too. Okay. If you are a brick and mortar, and you have to, you have a storefront, you got to pay rent, unless you own the facility, So there's a lot of things. So you got to make sure that when you are, setting your prices, that you are setting them so you are profitable. Okay. It's just something that to me, I noticed that a lot. I noticed that people will lower the prices just to, and I seen people use this strategy. I'll lower my prices until I get a customer base, and then I'll up the prices. That doesn't work. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the customers are used to paying the cheap discount. So then what ends up happening is they're going to expect that low price all the time. Okay. And when you tell them that you have a higher price, they're going to start arguing with you to lift it up. Avoid that. You know your work. You know how good quality it is. Make sure you price accordingly. Okay. And the thing is, you don't want to be known as the discounted embroiderer. You really don't. You don't want to be, people take advantage of that. People know people that usually look for embroidery services. They know how expensive embroidery services is. And if they need top quality embroidery and you're really good at what you do, and you tell them what the price is, trust me, they have no problem paying it. I haven't had an issue. I only had 2 customers that came to me and said, oh, I can get it done somewhere cheaper. And you know what my response to that was? I think that's great. You need to go there, because you ain't going to get it at that price here. That's for sure. And I'm going to tell you something. One of them came back. Okay. And I told them, no, too busy. I'm too busy. Okay. Because I'm like, nope. I don't want a problem customer. And I did have one customer that did come to me and say, can I give you half now and the other half later? No. Nope. Full upfront. I'm a stickler when it comes to certain things. I really, really, truly am. And you have to be. This is a business. This isn't a charity thing or anything like that. Okay. I'm here to make money. Okay. And this is how I look at it. I got a son in college. I got to pay for that dorm. No, I'm not going to have my son sleeping in the street. No. So I got to do what I got to do. Right. So let me see. What else did I put in my notes? I put some of the things. Okay, that I mentioned this before. They will challenge. I seen certain. I saw one posting. I don't think it was in our group. I think it was in another group that somebody came out and they said somebody was challenging their embroidery prices, and they were saying that they could get it done cheaper. So I always say you need to go where you can get it done cheaper, and then just close the door on that, and then just deal with the other customers that really appreciate your services. Okay, don't even bother with that. Okay, because I am a true believer, and this is just how I am, and people that work with me, they know me. I always tell people, don't let their negativity be yours. Okay. If somebody has an issue or a problem and stuff like that, go boop. Okay. Tell them to keep the bricks on their back. They're not putting it on mine. That's just how I look at things. I don't like to let things bother me and all that kind of stuff and everything, because I look at it like it is what it is. And I just don't let people take advantage of me. I just don't do it, and I'm very unapologetic about it. Okay. Also, with the other thing that people have challenges with when they do local orders is that they don't know what they want when they come with you. So if you kind of feel like they're wasting your time, right? Well, my response to that is you don't let them waste your time. Tell them up front. Just tell them and say, okay, well, it doesn't look like you're ready, that you're not clear of what you want. Just let me know when you are ready and you know what you want, and then you can go ahead and give me a call, because right now I have a lot of customers that I need to attend to. That's all you have to say to them. Okay. I do test stitch outs to my customers, but I do it after they've made a final decision on their logo. Okay. I always provide a test stitch out. I don't charge them for that. And there's a reason why I do that. Okay. The reason why I do that also is so that they could see the quality of the work they're going to get. Trust me, it works fabulously. You know why? Because when they see how it's going to look, when I tell them this is the price, the response I get from them is, oh, okay. When do you send me the invoice and I'll pay you now? That's how it is, because they see it's quality work. I'm not giving you crap. Okay. Just like, my customer, this is a repeat customer. Okay. I've done items for him in the past. Okay. And he likes my work. This is his sample stitch. When he drops off the shirts and stuff like that, he's going to look at it. He's going to be able to look at it, feel it, touch it. He knows what he has. He knows what he's going to get. Okay. And when I tell him this is how much it is for that order, trust me. I mean, just like he did before, he just said, not a problem. I mean, I sent him the invoice that same night. He sent me the money. Then that next day, early in the morning, all these machines were on and they were working. Okay. And then as soon as the order was done, I just told him to come and pick them up. And he was happy and thrilled. And of course, he's happy and thrilled because he's back. Okay. Just like that construction company, they'll be coming back because, I was not going to let that man pay $30 for one sweatshirt. I was like, you crazy? I was like, no. You're doing it all wrong. I told him, just go over there, $8. And I even told him, I said, by buying wholesale, you can buy more. Or think about it. The money that he saved on the wholesale, that's the money he could use to pay for the embroidery. I'm just saying. So, business owners have to help each other out. They really do. I mean, a lot of times, people think, oh, that, just, I don't know. It's just me. I like to help people. I'm not, like I said, I'm not, I don't know. I don't like taking blood from people. That's just not me. I don't do that kind of stuff and everything. I'm even like that at work, when something good happens. I like to be in the back of the room. Let everybody else get the glory. I'm good. I sit in the back. I'll sit in the back with my popcorn, holding my wine, going, good job. You did it, but I'm just not. I don't like, taking advantage and stuff. I know some people will say, Jeanette, that's not taking advantage, but that's just me. It's how I roll. It's my personality. That's how That's how I like to do business. I like to help other business owners out because trust me, if you ever need help from these business owners, I know that I can call them and say, hey, I need your advice on something, and they'll help me out. Because I have a couple of them that I do reach out to for certain business advice, right? And they are more than happy to have a conversation with me, explore ideas with me and all that kind of stuff. And I love that. I love that. So it's like I really love it when I see business owners help each other out to be successful. I think it's such a win-win situation for everybody, you know. Okay, now the other thing too, and that I wanted to mention, I already mentioned because I have a little paragraph that says what you must do, and number one, I have you got to make sure that your embroidery is top notch. I think I emphasize that enough. Can't be sloppy, okay? You got to ensure that it's professional, okay? But let me talk to you a little bit about what I have down in number 2, because I did touch on hooping, but let me dwell a little bit on this, and I want you guys to think about this, okay? You need to be able to, when you want to do embroidery as a business, one of the things that you're going to do is you're going to have a lot of different types of orders that are going to hit your way that are different, right? There's not going to be 2 jobs that are different, and that are going to be the same, okay? A lot of them are going to be different. They're going to have different, and what I mean is you may have 2 customers that come to you with polo shirts and say, I want a left side logo on them. However, though, what I mean by different is the shirts may not be the same quality. Okay. You may have one that's 100% cotton, and you may have one that's 50% cotton, 50% polyester. You also have different logos, right? One may have a logo that is one color like this, or you can have a customer that has a logo that has maybe multiple colors, maybe 3 or 4, or has a logo that requires different weight threads within the design, right? And I have a couple of videos where I talk to you guys about a patch logo that I did for the women's club, where that design was a mixture of 40 and 60 weight thread. And it was also about 30,000 stitches. And you may have some logos that are less, minimal stitch count, but maybe these different weight threads and stuff like that. For example, like this is a two size weight design. Okay, I'm using 40 and 60 weight thread on this design. Or you can have a design that is just one weight thread. I can use 60 throughout the whole design, or 40 weight, and it's one color, So that's what I mean by custom, okay? Even though you may think that the order looks the same, it's really not. And because it's very different, a lot of these orders, they're not going to have the same pricing, because depending on what type of service they're asking for, that's going to determine the type of price that you're going to charge. And that's why a lot of people that do embroidery have problems with the pricing structure, because they don't really know what to charge, because it's very hard for them to figure out. And I do have a couple of videos where I have talked about creating a pricing sheet to try to help folks try to determine how much they should be charging. The other thing, though, that I do want to point out to a lot of you guys is you have to remember about, take in consideration your locality. All right. There are some places that is high cost in living, and some places it's a little bit more lower cost. So you have to take all those items in account when you are thinking about how much you're going to be charging. Okay. So let's get back on the different types of embroidery. So like I said, all of it is custom work. But the thing is, you have to also not just know how to embroider your stuff very well and make sure that it's top notch, but you also got to make sure that you have a full understanding of how to hoop different types of items. Okay. I do have videos on the channel where I actually share some of that stuff. Like I did one on when you get a puff jacket, okay, a puffy jacket. And the puffy jacket looks like little bubbles, right? Those can be very tricky to embroider because they're kind of too layered and sometimes they have feathers in them. And because they have feathers in them, you're talking about two fabrics with feather in the middle, right? And then you have the two fabrics and you got feathers in there and the fabrics can shift, okay? So hooping those items, you got to be really, really careful and make sure that you are hooping those items correctly. You also have to make sure that you understand the type of fabric. And you got to know how to hoop hats. You got to know how to hoop the bags. All those type of things have their own different types of fabrics, textures. You got to know what type of hoops to use with what type of item that you are embroidering on. For example, I mentioned earlier laptop cases. I use fast frames for those, or by Dookie frames for that. I don't use my mighty hoops and I don't use a regular hoop for that. There are just so many things that you have to consider. So make sure that when you are, upping your skill set so that you can really do well in the embroidery industry and to provide embroidery services, you're not just focusing on how well you know how to manipulate that machine and how well you are in actually embroidering your design. You want to make sure that you know how to master how to hoop different types of items. Okay, a lot of people don't talk about that because a lot of people focus on flat items. You are going to come across very tricky items to embroider. Perfect example, again, the bag that I had where I had to put in a riser. That's a perfect example of that. Whole different type of material, okay? You got to be super careful with that material because that is the other thing too. With that bag, it wasn't fabric. It was like a paper kind of feel. So that means that once that needle hit down, it punctured a hole in the actual bag. It made a hole. So if I make a mistake, there is no healing in that hole. I can't heal that. Okay, I'm done, screwed. All right. It's not the same as like if I have fabric like this. This is fabric, it's stretchy. Okay. I can just embroider it and then I can turn this around and take the peggy stitch eraser and I can undo this. And then what's going to happen is if I'm very careful and I don't cut my fabric or anything and I undo it, then I can go ahead and re-embroider on top of it because the fabric is kind of like in a way self-healing. Okay, it'll go right back into place. But there are certain materials that once you puncture it, you got a permanent hole. You're done. That's it. I mean, it's punctured, it's there. Okay. So you got to be really careful about that. So you have to know how to hoop and embroider different types of projects. You're going to have people that come to you with lunch bags that are insulated. Okay. You got to know how to do with that. You're going to have different types of hats. Hats can be pretty difficult. Okay. There are so many different types of hats out there. They got the dad hats, they got the Richardson hats, they got the Nike hats, they got the 6-panel, they got the 4-panel, they got the 2-panel, they have structured hats, they have unstructured hats, they got hats that are fitted, hats that have the Velcro, hats that have the plastic. You got to know how to embroider on all those type of hats. You really truly do. Some brands are easier to embroider than on others. Okay, so you really have to know how to master all that stuff. So to be really, really good at what you do, you got to make sure that you are up for this. It is challenging. Embroidering is very, very challenging. It is not easy. A lot of times people have this perception. They truly believe that you put it in a machine, you press a button and the magic just happens. There is just so much that goes into it. I cannot emphasize it enough. I have people that reach out to me that just start embroidery, and right away they are confused. They're like, they don't know what to use, how to use it, and what type of needles. They don't even know that there's a sharp needle or ballpoint pen. Ballpoint pen. I was gonna say ballpoint pen, ballpoint needle. You don't embroider with a pen. Okay, so is the wine kicking in? Okay, no, it's not. It's not. This wine is not strong. It's not. Yeah, this wine is not strong. This is at 12%. This is a weak wine. I sometimes have wines at about 13-14% in alcohol, and those are usually those are the ones that'll knock you out. This is actually a very good bottle. Yeah, I really like this bottle. Oops. I think I got knocked out, guys. Sorry about that. My girlfriend is trying to call. Hold on. I just need to text her and let her know that I can't talk right now. Okay, so oh, okay. Whatever. All right. So I'll just call her later. So anyway, yeah, so you got to make sure that you know how to embroider different items. You really, really, truly do. So, it's not just shirts, it's not just towels, it's just not dinner napkins. When you are doing custom embroidery, you're going to have people come to you with backpacks. Backpacks are tricky too. Okay. I screwed up an order big time on backpacks. It cost me $2,000. But there are so many different items that people are going to come up to you. You got to be prepared for that. You really do. And this is the other thing too. Don't be afraid to turn down an order if you don't feel comfortable doing it. Seriously, don't be afraid of doing that, because your reputation could be on the line. Okay. Now, one of the things that I did with that tote bag that I took, I told the lady said, give it a shot. And I said, all right, I'm going to give it a shot. Let's see what I can do. I thought I was going to be able to put that on the multi-needle machine. I couldn't fit it. And I was like, what the heck? I was looking around. I was scratching my head. Then I saw the riser and I said, wait a minute, perfect. And I was able to do it for her. And it came out beautiful. Yeah, guys. So let me go down in the chat, and I want to see what you guys think. And if you have any comments or questions or stuff like that, so I can help you guys out. And because I got to call my girlfriend Patty, because she has been texting me, call me. I don't know what's going on with her. So I got a feeling she's pissed off. So I might have to get in my car and we'll probably go get ice cream or something, or I'll go to the supermarket, buy some ice cream. She's probably upset, so I just gotta listen. I gotta do it for her. She does it for me. Okay, so yeah, so let's go down. Let's say hi to everybody and let's see what's going on. Hey Nettie, how are you? Hey Karen, Iris. I see Jenny, Jackie. I see my sister, Gifts HQ on here. Hey Nancy. I see Judy, Jenny, Karen. Hey J Love, how are you? Hey Kim, how are you? I was worried a bit last week. Glad you're doing well. Oh, thank you. I am really so sorry though about last Friday. I really thought, honestly, Kim, I thought I was going to be able to meet with you guys. I thought I would be in my hotel room and I could just talk to you from there. But I was on the road. And then I told Nancy, I said, post and tell them that I'll be on just an hour later or something like that. I was still on the road. I did not get to my hotel room until midnight. So I was kind of like, oh, that you guys were not going to be up at midnight. So I was just like, and I was exhausted. Okay. So I was kind of like, it just didn't work out and stuff. But I am back in Virginia doing my thing. Everything's taken care of. I do have plans on making another trip to Florida because I want to spend some time with my mom and my sister. because when I went, we really couldn't spend too much quality time together. Because my mom got a little sick, and then so we were like back and forth to the hospital with her. And then I had a lot of things that I had to get done, to get my dad's car ready so I could drive it back to Virginia. So it was like we had so much going on, and even me and Nancy talked about it. We were kind of like, every time I go over there, we don't really get to spend any sister time together. So I was kind of like bummed out a little bit about that, and I was kind of like, okay, so I do want to uh spend some time with them. So I do plan on, going again. And, I don't know if I'll probably try to go in May. I'm thinking about it, or May or June, one of those times. Or maybe I'll just flip it, and then I'll just say, okay, Nancy and Mom, I'll just get you guys airline tickets and just come up for a week or something. I don't know. I'll figure it out. And we'll see. No, I can't go in May because I do have my cousin visiting me. My cousin Leslie's coming from Ohio to visit me. And I do want to spend some quality time with her. So, but I'll figure it out and stuff. But I was pretty bummed out about it. But I did think about all you guys and everything, and I'm really, really sorry about it. So Kim, yeah, I really miss you guys. And so, hey Deborah, how you doing? Judy, my trip was good. It was good. It was tiring. Hey Tammy, how are you? Hey Iris, I see Christina from snowy Alaska. I'm jealous because I love the snow. I love the snow. I truly do. I know a lot of people don't like it. I do. I love how it looks when it falls. And I just do. I love it. That's why I don't think Florida will ever be for me, because I like watching the snow come down, and I don't ever want to miss that. I get excited about that. Hey Wendy, how are you? Hey Ozzy. Let's see. Hey Danielle, how you doing? Let's see. Hey Peggy, hi Iris. Hey L Williams, how you doing? Oh, thank you everybody. Yeah, Mom is doing good. She's doing good. She's driving us crazy as always. That's just how she do, that's what moms do. So let's see. Hey Sassy, how are you? Hi Claire. And let's see, who else do I see here? Hey Pearl. Hey Robin. I see lovely Martin, Joyce, Me Too 1958, Juanita Creations. How you doing? Hey Angela and Stitches, Miss Max, how are you? Let's see. Oh, hey, Miss Max. She said, oh, let me see what happened here. Okay. I was asked to embroider on a golf club case. I finally had to make a patch, and he was happy. Those are very, very tricky. Yes. Now, Miss Max, I did have one customer that had a golf club case. The front pocket was actually removable. Okay. That made it so much easier because I was able to just hoop. They were able to take the cover of the pocket off, and then I hooped that cover, and then I was able to embroider it, and then they just zipped it back on the bag. However, though, if the cover did not come off that bag, I was not going to be able to do that. But I probably would have had to do exactly what you just did right there, which was to make a patch and stuff. And and there are so many great patches that you can do. You can make some really nice looking patches out there. So, I'm glad that it all worked out. Hey, crafty Puerto Rican, how you doing? Let's see. Embroidery is not to be rushed. It can't be. It can't be. And I'm going to be honest with you. It's like I said, if you got to rush it, don't do it. Don't do it. You're going to frustrate yourself. Things are going to go wrong. There's too many things that have to be thought of before you turn on that button. So you don't want to rush that at all. You don't want to rush that at all. Okay. So, oh, I hit the wrong thing. This is what I wanted to do. There you go. So guys, if you really like tonight, please hit that button. Hit that button down there. And so let's see. Oh, I see Miss Holland. How are you? You're new. I think you're new. Yeah. Hey, Jemmy Jet. How are you? Oh, risers are worth every penny. My husband built mine. Yes, they are. And you know what, Janie, I bought mine, and mine is right here. Oh, and let me go the other way. Here's my SC 1900. It's sitting on the red one. My riser has been painted. It's in red, and it has like a little draw on it. I actually put it away, and I didn't, I didn't use it much because when you have a multi needle with the arm, a lot of times I put it in there. But this was actually the first time that I could not put it on my multi needle machine. It wouldn't fit. The bag was too big. It was not bendable. You'll see it on the video. There's no way I could have bent that bag. I would have ruined it if I bent it. Had to put it on this. Had to. But it did a wonderful job. And that riser saved the day. It really did. So am I glad that I purchased that? Heck yeah. You're right. Worth every penny. I'm very glad that I did that. Hey, Miss Holland, how are you? Let's see, J Stash. I'm working on a 12-month sheet blanket, and I'm listening now. And as I'm listening, and now I'm worried. So far, so good. But still, you're gonna do fine. Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Just focus. Just focus. You got this. You got this. Like the conveyor belt. Yes, that's how I work. I tell you. Hey Rita, how are you? Hey Bob, how's it going? My digitizing experience is 1 hour making the design, 3 hours teaching them how to use an embroidery machine. Now I only sell physical products. It's a lot. It's time consuming, and that's the thing too with embroidery. This is something that's very, very time consuming. It really, really is. And stuff. Hey Annette, how are you? Let's see. Hey Computer Depot, how are you? Hey Thomas. Crafts Royalty, how are you? Oh, appreciate you. Appreciate you, Thea. You're responsible for my entire brochure. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. I'm glad. Lots of success. Hey Debbie, how are you? From Queens, we have something in common. I used to work at Green Acres Mall too. Oh shoot! Oh my God! Yes, and I did too. I used to work. Let me tell you. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. I know this is not important, but she had to mention Green Acres Mall, so let me tell you. I got to give you the 411 on Green Acres Mall. I heard that mall changed. Okay, I used to work at the movie theater, Green Acres Cinemas, and then I used to work at A&S. And I don't know if you remember when they had Alexander's that was across the street from A&S. Barbie 159. We talking back in the day, girl. We talking back. We going back, okay? Me and my sister used to work the movie theater. Oh my God, you go. That's where I was. Oh my God. Oh, Thomas is saying he used to watch Green Acres. I think my husband used to watch Green Acres and stuff. Hey, Angela, how are you? Oh, you're very welcome. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Oh, Angela said I had 95 people watching, only 20 thumbs up. Guys, give me them thumbs up, okay? I'm giving you the 411. And it don't cost you nothing to give me a thumbs up. Come on. Don't be cheap with the thumbs. Give me the thumbs. Give me the thumbs. Okay. So thank you, Angela. Let's see. Hey, Debbie. Hey, C. McKee. How are you? Hey, Susan. Oh, wait. Let me get my wine. Oh, my God. Almost messed up. Cheers. Cheers, Thomas. SC 1900. Oh, you're gonna love. I'm telling you, for you guys that have the 1900, you guys are gonna love it. And you know what? I was gonna wait till Tuesday to release this video. I'm gonna do it tonight. I'm gonna turn it on right after we finish this embroidery happy hour, so you guys can see how I did that tote bag on the SC 1900 on a riser. And and this is the other thing too. What I really liked about doing that is sometimes you get a lot of people that they're starting out, right? And they get a little bummed out because they think that they got to buy these big multi-needle machines to make money, okay? And so you really don't have to. If you have a good single needle machine, you can. I know people that have embroidery businesses, okay, and they don't even own a multi-needle machine. They don't own it because, first of all, they're working from home. They don't have the space, and they're perfectly happy with their single needle machine. Now, they have upgraded their single needle machine, okay? They have, because they wanted like a bigger hoop, because you got to remember, when you upgrade it, like the luminaire, you can get a really huge hoop on those single needle machines. So they have upgraded it, but they never bothered to get a multi-needle machine. They're perfectly fine working off their single needle machine, and they run businesses to it. I know a lady that she has a flatbed, and all she sells is baby onesies. That's her thing. She loves doing baby onesies. She likes to do the applique. She likes to do the personalization. She just loves it. So she buys all these baby bodysuits and stuff, and she just embroiders the different designs on them with the names and everything, and that's all she sells. That's what her shop is all about. It's about the baby, okay, the baby onesies. And then she does blankets, simple stuff, bibs and all that kind of stuff, and she does it all on her single needle, and she enjoys it, she loves it, and she's okay. She's not interested in doing big bulky bags or anything like that. So sometimes the equipment that you get really depends on what it is that you want to do, okay? You don't have to do the big bulky things if that's not something that you like. And if you are perfectly happy with, and you just want a flatbed machine, and you just, the products that you want to push out are not, are work fine on the single needle machine, and why bother? Why bother? But I'm telling you, when you guys see that video, you're gonna be like, damn, she did it on an SC1900 and on a riser, and it came out really good. Customer came to pick it up today. She was smiling from ear to ear. She was fine with it. So yeah. So let's see. Hey Carol, how you doing? I see you. You lay it. Listen. Say it. Not cheap by any means. Oh my goodness. Nope, it's not. um. Let's see. Kathleen Nesses. Oh, what days do you upload new material, or is it talking? I do both. I do upload. I like to do instructional videos. A lot of times what I'll do is I'll do the videos on when I'm working on customer orders, so that way people can learn how I actually do the orders, okay? Or I try to teach people about the machine. So if you look at my channel, you'll see a whole bunch of stuff. The embroidery happy hour is something that I do religiously every Friday. It's something that I like to do because I like to pick a topic and I like to talk about it and share it. I like to focus on running an embroidery business, things to, I have a whole library of the different topics that I do for the embroidery happy hour. But welcome to the channel. Welcome. Hey Cynthia, how you doing? Let's see. Hey Jay. Let's see. Debbie says embroidery is more expensive than raising kids. I need to get to work on selling stuff to support my habit. And you know what, Debbie? Some people, what they do is they actually sell stuff just so that they can keep embroidering. So, to keep offset the cost of embroidery. Yeah, a lot of people do that. Hey, Eleanor, how are you? And Carol says, mighty hoops are the best for me. I have not started to use any other hoops, but you will, Carol. I'm telling you, I'm not saying that you're going to, that there's going to be a time when you're not going to want to use your mighty hoops anymore, because there is not a day that I don't use them. Okay. I use my mighty hoops a lot, but there are going to be certain times when the mighty hoops may not do the trick for you, and you may have to look into fast frames or dookie frames and stuff like that. So yeah, but my hoops are awesome. Totally agree. Totally agree. And yeah, Iris said, don't forget the Peggy stitch eraser. That has saved my butt several times. Um, hey Susan, you and Mello are the only things you have that are one of a kind. um, let's see. Hey Pearl, how are you? And the thread that Pearl is mentioning on there too, that is the one of the more pricier threads that I use, the Florina. I hope I said that right this time. I've been trying to practice how to say it, but I really do like that thread. I think it's very good quality, but it is a little bit on the high end and stuff. But it's a very good thread. Hey Sassy, how are you? I agree. We pay up front. You have to. Yeah, always do it. Do it up front. Um, let's see. I'm gonna go down here. The riser appears to be a stand that allows you to put an embroidery under the. Yes, it is. And Metro. I keep saying Metro, and it's me too. 1958. I'm sorry. Yes, you are correct. It rises it, so it kind of gives it like an embroidery arm. You are correct. That's what the riser does do. Yes. Um. Jane, how do you figure out your pricing? I do have several methods that I use to figure out my pricing. If you look on the channel, I did do, and you do a search on the channel, type in just the word pricing, and you will see some videos where I do talk about different types of pricing structures that you can use in pricing your embroidery. Okay. Let's see. The wine looks good. Thank you, Crafty Puerto Rican. And if you guys don't know, her channel is also very good. Okay. Oh, thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. Thank you. Her channel is very good, Crafty Puerto Rican. She does a lot of instructional videos on embroidering. She also does rhinestones and stuff and everything. So you guys should check her out as well and stuff. Let's see. In addition to your labor, what percentage do you upcharge on your materials? I don't sell. Okay, when you're talking about materials, I'm assuming, Bob, that you're talking about like threads and all that kind of stuff. What I usually do is I don't really upcharge on that. I really upcharge on my service. Okay. So but I do track how much these materials cost. For example, let's say if I buy a pack of stabilizer, and the stabilizer is certain, there's 100 sheets in that pack, and this is how much it costs. So what I do is I say how much each sheet costs. I make sure I incorporate that in the price, because the customer is paying for that stabilizer that I got to use. The customer is also paying for the thread. And then I add in my time. I have a rate that I charge. Okay. And then what I do is I take my hourly rate and I divide it by 4, right? And then what I'll do is I'll look at the design and I'll see how long does it take. So there's my hourly rate, and then I add all the materials that I have to do to add it onto the price. That's how I usually do stuff. Now, like I said, a lot of stuff is custom. So, sometimes I do have to add a little more to the pricing, where sometimes I'll sometimes even lower the pricing a little bit, because sometimes I'll be like, well, it's a real simple stitch. It's only one color. It's in and out of the machine in like, a couple of minutes. I'll lower the price a little bit on that. Not too much though, because remember, I don't work for free. But, that's usually how I do it. So that's why I say that when it comes to custom embroidery, you really have to think about your pricing and how you want to do it. A lot of times what people like to do is they'll talk to other embroiderers, say, how do you do it? that their method of pricing sometimes can help you to determine your pricing, but sometimes it's not a perfect fit because they could be at an area where it's a higher cost of living, and maybe you are in an area where it's a lower cost of living, right? So where I could charge $30 a shirt to get embroidered, that may not work in somewhere where the cost of living is low. Okay, they're gonna come on, they're gonna be like, well, that's a little way too steep. Okay. So it really depends on a lot of things. So that's why I say to people is I'll give you information, but it's really information for you to consider in how you want to implement your own pricing. But to me, what's important, the bottom line is you got to make sure that you're not losing money. Okay. Because remember, when you're in business, it's to make money. Okay. It's not to lose it. All right. And you don't want to be in the break even area either. It's bad to break even. Some people are like, well, I didn't make money, but I didn't lose money. Well, okay, that's all right. Maybe you're in that situation, but this is the thing you have to think about. When you have broken even, that means you have no extra cash flow. Okay, my English, oh my god, y'all know my genetics. So if you didn't make any extra money, that means there is no money in there for you to reinvest in your business, and there's no profit. So the first couple of years, usually a business does not make a lot of money, and it's not because they don't make a profit. It's because a lot of times what these businesses do is they take the money that they have as a profit and they reinvest it in their business. Like, for instance, I started with one machine, then I bought another machine, then I bought another machine. These machines all cost money. So every time I profited, I would take that money and I would reinvest it. Okay. Now I am at a point where there is no more reinvesting. Okay. I have all of the hard materials that I need. So a lot of times I am not going out buying. Well, I still do. I still buy more mighty hoops and stuff like that. But the thing is, I'm not buying another machine. I got 3 machines. They're running great for the volume that I have right now. And the amount of orders that I take, these 3 machines are good. Okay, they are good. I do not want to end up with 10, 14, 20 machines. I think I'm good with 3. Okay. I can take an order and I can finish it off pretty quickly with the 3 machines. So it's just something that you have to think about. Okay. So when you are pricing your items, you have to think about that. It's for you to put something in your pocket. Now, how you use that something that you put in your pocket, that's really going to be like how you determine, but it's just something that you got to work on. So, but I don't up the percentage on the materials. Mostly I have more of a labor rate, but trust me, I don't lose any money and stuff like that. So because if I did, then I guess I'd be doing a hobby. Okay. I wouldn't have all these machines. Okay. That's for sure. I would just have one machine and I'd be good. Hey, Jenny, so glad your mom is doing better and doing good. Did miss you last Friday. Look forward tonight. Thank you, Jenny. Appreciate it. Hey, Sheila, how are you? Learned so much. Love you. Love you guys too. Love you too. I do not know how to say your name. DH. I'm gonna call you DH, okay? And from Canada. How are you? Never visited Canada. I need to make a drive up there one day. Hey, Stitchy with Hearts, how are you? Oh, from Las Vegas. Love your content. Oh, I'm glad you like the channel. I appreciate that. And Carol said, I bought the riser when I moved. They left it in the old house. I was pissed off about losing my. I would have been pissed too, Carol. Oh God, I can't believe that happened. Do you show the riser on how to use it? Yes, I do. I show you how to use it on the video. So, and you know what? I'm gonna post the video tonight. I was actually gonna do it on Tuesday, but I talked so much about it. I got to show you guys. So as soon as we are done with Embroidery Happy Hour, I'm going to activate that and I'll put the link in the Facebook group and it'll just be on the channel. It'll be on so you guys can see it and you guys can see how I actually used it and all that kind of stuff, because I think that's going to help a lot of you guys. Hey, Felicia. Didn't know you were from New York. Yes, I am I'm a New Yorican. I'm a New Yorican. Yes, I am. I worked in Alexander's. Oh my God. Oh man, I wonder if we knew each other from back then. I see 75, but keep them coming for Jeanette. Oh, thank you, Jenny. She's counting for me. Hey, baby giant, how are you? Hey, girl, for real. Hey, glad to see you. Long time haven't joined you. You're always so kind. Oh, thank you so much. Let's see. I see a lot of people using the 5x12 hoop on the single needle machines on TikTok. Seems like they're making a little bit of money. There you go. There you go. I gotta get on that TikTok stuff and everything. Thank you so much, Debbie, for the super sticker. I appreciate that. Thank you. Let's see. Oh, what Debbie's saying here. Jeanette teaches so much others don't, especially on how to run a business. Look back at her videos. Let them run while I'm in the sewing room. Thank you, Debbie. I appreciate that. Let's see. What hot press do you use? How much did it cost? Lynette, I actually got, this is actually a very old, that heat press that you see back here right there. That is an actually very old one. Let me tell you why I got this one. And I will say I love it. Okay. I've had it now for 4 years. Works very, very well. It's from proworldinc.com. Okay. The reason why I got this is for 2 reasons. That heat press has the pull out drawer. Okay. I like the pull out drawer because that way you can lay the item, then you pull it in, and then you close it shut. I did not want to get a heat press where I had to put my hand inside of it and accidentally burn myself. Okay. And that actually had 5-star reviews. When I tried to get a heat press off of Amazon, I kept seeing all these mixed reviews. I didn't want to chance it. I really didn't. So I just started looking around and I went to proworldinc.com, and that is actually where I got my heat press from. Have absolutely no regrets. And I purchased it because I was using that Cricut heat press, that thing. I mean, it's good, don't get me wrong. But the thing is, when you want professional press, you need a real good heat press. And this works really, really good. Yeah, so and how much did it cost? It cost me $350 back then. That's how much it cost me. It cost me about $350 and stuff. And I think they still might be around that age. Oh man, she's really she really wants me to call her. All right, I'm gonna try to go down real quick, guys. Let's see. I believe you. I'll give those other frames a try. Yeah, well, there's gonna be situations, Carol, that you're gonna want to use those. You know that it does make things a little easier because sometimes not everything gets hooped, and like another example, sleeve shirts. I've done a couple of dress shirts and I use the fast frames for those too and stuff. So, there's going to be certain situations where, that's why it's funny because we talk about all these hoops and there's just so many of them, but there's a purpose for them. And it's really about what's it going to make you be able to do the job efficiently and easily. So, yeah. Let's see. I really struggle with the prices. My husband tells me I charge too little. If he's telling you, I'm going to tell you something, JJ Pray Stash One. If he's telling you that, chances are he's probably telling you the truth. You're going to have to up it. And this is the other thing too. Don't be afraid to ask for what you're really worth. I'm serious, because that is something that I notice a lot of people have issues with. They're afraid to give the number that they should be giving because they feel like people are going to turn them down. I want you to think of it this way, okay? If you tell someone how much it really should be and they don't want to pay it, that's not the customer you want for you, okay? Because this is the other thing too. You are busting your behind, because this is work. Embroidery is work. Okay, this is not This isn't like, it's not like you're just sitting there and it's happening on its own. Okay. We're talking about real work here. Okay. So you are working hard, and then you are pricing them, giving them, they're giving you a little bit of money. You want to feel good about what you do. I'm serious. I am serious. And I'm not saying this to make you feel bad. I'm telling you because stand up for yourself. I'm telling you, if he is telling you that, it's because he loves you, he cares about you, and he doesn't want to see anyone take advantage of you. Trust me, embroidery is a luxury. Demand what you should be getting. Okay? If they don't want to pay it, let them walk. Seriously, let them walk. You're not going to lose anything. You know you're good. You know you got this. This is high quality embroidery that you do. Let them go to the discount embroiderer. Let them get up and go there. No, you serious about your stuff. You know what you're doing. So don't do that. Because this is the other thing too. It's not good for your self-esteem. Okay? It's not good. All right. Don't allow people to take advantage of you. Okay. In the beginning, I understand. And I got that because, we all did. Okay. I don't, please don't feel bad. We've all done it. Okay. When I first started, what the hell did I know about pricing? Okay. But we all learn. You all learn. Okay. And as you get better, and the thing is too, is when you're first starting out, it's like somebody has to slap you in the face, okay? Because you don't even realize the cost that is involved in all of this embroidery. You honestly don't know, okay? Because all you know is you got this machine, you're excited, you got this stabilizer, you got this set of threads, and you're like, ooh, okay, I can embroider this, I can embroider that. But as time goes on, you start realizing the cost. The stabilizers, it's not just one stabilizer. There's sticky stabilizers, there's tearaway, there's cutaway, there's no show mesh. Next thing you know, you're buying all this type of stabilizers and stuff. So all of this is coming out of your pocket. Okay. So as time goes on, no. So you know what? If he told you that, believe me, he's telling you that out of love. Okay. So what you do, and I'm not saying that, and this is another thing. Okay. Don't think that, okay, let's say you're charging them $20. I'm not saying that tomorrow you come out and go, it's $1,000. No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that. What you can do is, let's say you charge 20, right? And you know that you should be charging more than 20. You should be charging more than, like, I don't know. That what I would do is say is the next time around, say, oh, it's 25 now. Why is it 25? Stabilizer went up. Blame it on the economy. Everybody blames it on the economy. Shoot. Supermarkets are raising their prices. Restaurants are raising their prices and everything like that. Go to the gas station and see if you're going to get a gallon of gas for $1 or $2. They don't have a problem raising their prices. Raise yours. Raise yours. Get paid for what you're worth. Don't be afraid to ask for it. Don't. And you know what? If they have a problem with that, tell them to call me. I'll fight for you. I'm serious. Okay. So if he's telling you that, it's true. Okay. If you break even, then you're still in the red because you lost time. There you go. And you'll be in the back of the paper and will still lose in all those terms of time. Yep. How did you create your business card? Visa print, Debbie. Go on Visa print. Look for a coupon code for Visa print. They got all these, and let me tell you something. They got so many different templates and samples and stuff like that. You can create all your business. I do my business cards from there. Everything. Visa print, and then just order the bulk order. That's all. That's what I did. What part of New York? I knew I liked you for a reason. Well, okay. We grew up in Spanish Harlem, the Barrio, okay, 105th Street. And then we moved to Rosedale, Queens. And Rosedale, Queens, that's when I was a teenager. and stuff. Went to Springfield High School only 1 year, but then I went to a private school in Manhattan and stuff like that. And then yeah, and that's how I was in Green Acres and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, Rosedale, Queens, which was right next to Valley Stream, because Valley Stream is where Green Acres Mall was and stuff like that. So yeah. Alexander's one of my favorite stores. You know, Alexander's was big back then, but you know, they went out of business a long time ago. A long time ago. And then I remember they also had an Abraham and Strauss. I don't know if you guys remember Abraham and Strauss back in the day. They used to call it A&S, right? And stuff. And let me tell you, I used to love A&S because I was working there and employees got employee discount and they sold Gucci bags. And I got an employee discount on the Gucci bags. So me and Nancy were always Gucci'd up because I was able to get the discount. Now, Gucci never went on sale, but I was able to get 20% off on a Gucci bag. That was Abraham Strauss. Then Abraham Strauss went out of business, and then they turned that into a Macy's. That we're talking back in the day, though. Yep. Hey Tina, how you doing? If the heat press isn't available, check out the Heat Press Nation. They're another one that have good, yes. They are another, yes, Bob. That's another site that sells very, very good heat presses as well. Yes. Oh, you're welcome. Hey, Carol. There you go. Okay, she looked it up at Pro World Inc. So now it's $5.29. So I guess it went up. Well, see, okay, the one she's talking about is 16 by 20. The one that I have is the 15 by 15. I didn't get the real big one and stuff because I do kitchen towels, you know, and that's all I do. Kitchen towels and little baby onesies and stuff like that. So I didn't need something that big. So I got the 15 by 15. That's the one that I got. Let's see. I think I'm at the bottom. Oh my goodness, Iris, look at this. Remember Woolworths? I remember there was a Woolworths at 103rd Street and 3rd Avenue in Spanish Harlem in New York City on the east side. My aunt used to work at Woolworths, and Woolworths used to have, it was kind of like a Target. And I remember it had like a little restaurant on the side and you could order food and stuff like that. I remember that Woolworths. Oh my God, Iris, you are taking me back. Oh my goodness, man, this is funny. Hey, Erica, how you doing? Oh, you got a new boss next week. You'll be fine. You'll be fine. Hey, Nana, how you doing? Thank you for the information. Formidable, great. Thank you. Okay, guys. Well, I am going to call it the night because my girlfriend Patty is texting like crazy, and I gotta call her, see what's going on and stuff like that, and probably have an ice cream night with her. So I'm gonna give her a call right now. As always, I enjoy our Fridays. I really, really do. And again, so sorry for last Friday, but don't worry about it. I'm back. I am back, and the next time I do make a trip, I'm going to make sure I schedule it around it where I don't have to miss an embroidery happy hour. And I know my sister does her lives. If you guys don't know, my sister's channel is Gifts HQ. She does her lives every Saturday at 12 noon. It is called Craft of Noon. And, I will make sure I link her channel on the Facebook group as well. So in case you guys want to go ahead and, join us tomorrow at 12 o'clock. I'm always in the chat. So, so I'm going to call it the night. I got to call my friend and I will see you guys next Friday. And when I hang up with you guys, I'm going to activate that video on me using the riser and the SC1900 so you guys can take a look at it. I'm not even going to let you wait till Tuesday, okay? Because I was going to schedule it for Tuesday. Nah, we're going to do it tonight, okay? So I will talk to you later. You guys have a great one. Love you and miss you guys all. And, I'm really happy I was able to spend time with you guys tonight. And thank you so much for spending Friday night with me. I really appreciate it because I know you guys can be anywhere. And I really hope that you guys really enjoyed all of the information that I gave you guys. Okay. So I will talk to you guys later. You guys have a great weekend. Please stay safe and happy sewing and happy embroidery. So you guys take care. I'll see you next Friday. Bye.